I text her, hey, you said you only needed the money for 2 weeks. You pay me next month. It's, not that I really need it. It's not a big deal or anything.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I haven't eaten for 3 days, but you don't know that. Is this a neighborly area?
You're talking about the neighborhood I live in?
Yeah, it's where the Pat Cave is located.
Well, it's Los Angeles neighborly, so it's different than other people's neighborhoods across the country. Our neighborhoods have trees and sidewalks and children playing in their backyard.
The rest of the country, you're saying?
Oh, well, we have that too.
I was going to say, how is that different from anywhere else?
Well, 400 yards from our neighborhood is a bunch of bums smoking crack.
Wait,
and,
we can't. We've been doing too much bum stuff.
Zombies, forgive me.
Zombies, excuse me. Yeah, forgive me.
It's called promoting our future NFTs.
My mother begged me to move back home this week because
Did
she's
she
watching.
really?
She watches Fox News all day and night.
Yeah, that's healthy.
And they're convincing her how horrible California is, which
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It's just they're really painting a picture on that network over there for my mother.
Cool. It's super productive. The neighborliness is. I feel like you really have to put effort into it.
As a person living in the neighborhood?
Yeah, like my mother is very, very, she's grandmother Willow in that neighborhood. Everybody knows her. She knows everybody. I live in a, what's it called again?
Cul-de-sac?
No,
Alcove?
a triplex. And I've talked about how, I'm not too familiar with the neighbors. There's pleasantries exchanged and stuff like that. I've talked about my neighbors before, they're dog people, so there are pleasantries exchanged, but I'm not really, they have a bond over their canines, shit like that. And, the canines have been problematic lately because my darling wife Cecilia and I walked out and there was just shit everywhere in front of our porch the other day. And then it remained there for 48 hours. So I needed to confront one of the neighbors about it. I said, I don't want to be a dick, but, you guys could just take an extra lap every once in a while because they let their dogs run around.
Seems reasonable, but did you have the tone that you're describing now with that neighbor?
And what tone is that, Patrick?
It's got a little bit of condescension in it.
It's not condescension. I do condescend to people who live through their dogs, but not outwardly.
Right.
Up here.
Right.
Yeah. So it was fine. I asked the guy, can you do it? He said no problem. But there's two dog owners, right? So
have you identified what?
No way to. I'm not going to pick up a turd and do a
Jurassic Park?
an autopsy on it or
Right.
anything like that. But here's the issue. The turds eventually did get picked up. And so I felt as though I still needed to say something because it was inappropriate to have left the turds there for that long. But I did bring it up after the turds had been removed.
Oh, okay.
That's problematic, right?
Yeah,
I probably should have just let it slide.
I think just bring it up casually.
Yeah. Well, I brought it up casually to the one guy, and then the next day I realized that I needed to talk to the other guy because I can't just point my ire at this one human being and then not at the other. So I had to have another awkward conversation with him, couched it as, hey, I talked to him. And so how'd
it go?
They blamed each other.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
They blamed each other.
Look at you.
Dylan, this is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, yep.
Because now they don't feel like they did something.
Right.
Because they blamed it on the other person.
Right.
So their side of the street emotionally is literally cleaned up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they're not mad at you.
Yes.
They're just glad they got away with it.
Yeah.
Problem solved. Well done. Well executed.
Thank you.
It was way better than putting a sign there. Pick up your dog's whatever. Like I've seen those signs around the neighborhood.
No.
That only encouraged me to have a dog poop right in front of it. I would take I cleaned it up.
Such a
I
rebel.
didn't leave it, but I like watching him shit right in front of those signs. I think it's funny. I have a couple.
Curb
good
your
shots
dog,
of
I
it.
believe it is.
It's like people smoking in front of the no smoking sign.
This isn't over, Dylan. You now have to mind this. You have to go lend a comforting ear to both sides and be like, oh man, how you dealing with old Roger or whatever their names are?
Yeah, one of them is Roger, actually.
See how far you can push it. Go to each one of them individually and say, one of you guys is fucking my wife.
Not going to do that. Hey, so you've been having some problems on the road lately, right?
Yeah. Oh,
this is another podcast show,
right.
by the way.
No,
It's a show where
I want to say something
really
before we
is
move
at
on.
top of mind.
Hi. Before we move on,
that's Pat.
How we started talking about this is you guys walked through my side gate or whatever, and directly to my north is my neighbor Marty, who has her house tented for termites.
Right.
Okay. Dylan's remarks
can
before.
Proactive cleanliness help with that, or do termites really hit wherever they want to?
No clue.
Okay.
But we've had some problems with Marty, but I'm a get along kind of guy.
Sure.
She doesn't give me crap when I first moved in this house and I threw parties every weekend outside with loud music. Right. She got it. So when her dogs bark on the other side of my gate nonstop,
right,
I don't say anything to her, and we seem to get along. I don't even make any complaints. The fact that she's bought 3 sheds from Home Depot and turned them into living dwellings and renting them out to strangers. I don't even say anything. I'm pretty sure that's highly illegal.
Right. She's taken the affordable housing issue into her own hands and constructed units in her backyard.
There's a lot of superfluous laws in Los Angeles. Like you've went through having trouble building your renovation. It just takes forever.
It took a year.
Some of these laws have purpose. And not having a bunch of fucking squatters in your backyard is one of them, because I have no doubt the reason that thing's getting fumigated is because one of those dirt bags got fleas or some other bed bug type thing. And now
you can't buy a playhouse for a preteen and chuck it up in your backyard and charge people $350 a month to live in it.
She did. She did. And you want to know...
I guess proven wrong.
You want to know what's like... what's the word for it? Not devious, but it's just diabolical. It's diabolical. Is no one in this neighborhood other than us and the person that lives on the other side of the house would know, because all of the tenants walk through her front door.
Right.
You never know. You just say, oh, that must be one of her daughter's boyfriends.
She's got a big family.
I mean, she's got a big family, an extended family, and they're all there. Right. She didn't even have to build bathrooms. They come in, she has a bathroom in the house that's designated for her tenants.
Jesus
I've seen how
Christ.
This works out. I'm going to get a drone over that property.
I will say, though, that's directly to your east. The house.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's north.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you pointed that out for the audience's sake.
Well, I mean...
Well, you got that
they would have
so wrong,
You're right.
though.
You're right.
And they would have been confused because they all know you live at 11212.
Hey! Anyway, to wrap this up.
Right.
When I moved out of that apartment building...
And nobody rat on Marty, okay?
No.
Just chill out.
I even tipped her off that we're going to start my renovation here, and she better put some fencing up there to hide that, because when the contractor came over there, he saw it from our property. He's like, what's going on over there? And I told him, he's like, oh, boy. You better have her cover that up with some tarps, the fence or something. Make it look even prettier. this
like I told you, Dale, like this is the art of war. You don't tell on Marty. You use this to your advantage, tit for tat. Mm-hmm. But she has such a big tit, you get 1 million tats.
I got 1 million tats.
You got a blank check for tats.
I could kill one of her family members. She'd probably let me get away with
it. That would be a tit. I think you'd run out of tats then.
Right. Well, I moved from an apartment building my entire life.
How many tats is one murder of a family member?
15.
15?
Big ones, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Episode title?
Yeah. So I left that apartment building where that guy Rob wanted to kill me for 4 years.
Sure, yeah.
Right? And I'm thinking, I'm getting away from apartment dwelling and all the horrible things that go along with living next to people, sharing walls with people.
Right.
And you move to a neighborhood. That's kind of what the whole idea of being a homeowner is.
Sure.
And then I come here and I have dogs barking night and day. I have a neighbor with 3 home dwellings in her backyard and zombies surrounding us.
Have you ever bonded over Star Wars with Marty? Because her little teacup Yorkie is named
Princess Leia.
Mm-hmm. So you have?
Yeah, big fan.
Jesus Christ.
You guys may remember Chewie. They met, and it was like we had a bunch of the Star Wars cast.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, you like Star Wars?" And Nick's like, "I've never done it."
And this dog's not named after him. It's a coincidence.
I've never done that.
Shockingly, though, she's a huge Magic the Gathering player. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Are you trying to Segui me into Magic the Gathering?
No.
Okay, because I will talk about Magic the Gathering for probably too long for you guys on our Patreon, patreon.com/another podcast network. And I understand that might not be a good plug because you're sitting here thinking, why would I give a fuck about Magic the Gathering? But it'll be funny funny.
No, it's definitely funny. I love seeing these worlds. Like it's a whole underbelly that we're not aware of. I will say though, you mentioned like, oh, we got to like cool down the bums, the zombie talk. I've seen way more complaints about the Magic the Gathering talk than the zombie talk. People love the zombie talk, and I'm not saying don't do it because those loud few that don't like the Magic Gathering, they're wrong. I like it.
I will talk about it on Patreon as well, but I'm done listening to any fan ever tell me anything ever.
How humble of you, fans. I refer to our listeners as listeners.
I refer to them as friends.
So roads have been killer, huh?
Oh, yes.
It's another podcast show.
Okay. This happened to me on Tuesday. I got a story here. I'm confused about humanity, especially given what we've been through in the last couple years.
Which road? What time of day?
It was on Balboa, right down the street from Nick's other studio. I went in for a doctor's appointment.
Got it.
So this is a place, the entire parking lot in this building.
Hang on a second. You went to the doctor?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I had to.
For your heart thing?
Yeah.
Why did you have to?
Well, because my wife was saying, what if you die and this is something serious, then you're going to leave me and Ellie.
What'd they say?
Oh, it's just I actually had bruised it by, I remembered I tried to scale a wall and jump on it, and my chest hit a rock on it.
How did you not remember that when we were talking
Dude,
about it? Because to us, it was just some phantom mystery, and you were going to die. Because we asked, did you have a contusion or something? You're like, I don't think so.
You know I work in construction. I'm hurt all day long. I look at this. I cut my fucking finger off. Look at these scratches. Look at this. I almost took out my knee with a fucking cactus. You see this? Yeah. So anyway, I'm always being hurt. Anyway, that's not the point of the story.
Sorry.
So I go see the doctor.
Well, you're okay, though.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Nick's hand.
Yes.
So, Pat, you've got the very successful business that you run.
Sneakers.
And now you've got all of these side hustles, which like more time maybe spent at the side hustles continue to like flow into your workflow. Mm-hmm. Do you not hire someone to do that stuff because it's like hard to find good work? Or
well, one of my workers was full-time, and he moved back to France to see his mother before she died, and now he can't get back here because he was here illegally. And then Max is taking film work. That's my other guy that works for me, and he'll constantly cancel on me, like, hey, are you going out to this? So the answer is yes, I do have people to help me, but everyone's fucking flaky as fuck.
Have you thought about hiring Hispanic people because they're not flaky and they work their ass off?
Yeah, my wife and I had a discussion about it last night because I'm getting too old to be doing what I'm doing.
That's how I feel. But then there is this. It's the user agent problem. Like they're not in it for you. They just want to kill their hours and stuff. And so it's hard. It's hard.
McRitchie, it's this tough work. McRitchie lasted 3 months and he quit on me.
Would have been good for him, I think.
I think so too.
What
You get
happened
some
on the
exercise.
roads there,
Oh yeah, okay. So I go to my doctor's appointment and I'm all fine and everything like that. And then I get in the goddamn parking lot and it's kind of like half empty. And it's one of these places where you get the ticket when you go into the parking lot.
Sure.
And then you got to get it validated by the doctor.
Right.
And they're so stingy. I'm there for 40 minutes and they only give me 2 stickers for 20 minutes each on this thing.
Right.
So I got to get the hell out of there.
Right.
So I get in.
Or else you'll pay $6.
Yes. And I don't have any cash. So I get in my car and I go, by the way, so there's the ticket where the guy's going to take your ticket and let you lift the bar up and let you out of there.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I see that there's 3 cars already lined up to, do their business with the ticket guy. And so I just pull behind the 3rd car and I'm kind of cornered. And then another car. It's a guy in a shitty old car and a white guy in his mid-50s. And so the deal is, as a society, is that I've been there, you see me, and I'm cornered behind the 3rd car, and I will straighten out behind the 3rd car as soon as that car moves up.
So often the problem with these car stories, I cannot picture this in my head at all, but it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Okay. That's because I have ADD. I couldn't picture it either now.
I think I just got lost.
I think he described it perfectly.
Okay.
But
I will provide a graph for the video.
Okay.
I was just like, honestly, when he was telling me that, I was like, oh, I thought of something actually I want to talk about at the end of the story. So I experienced rate.
Here's the 3 cars.
Okay.
Here's the 3 cars.
Nick's hand.
We're exiting.
Just at the end of the show, I want to talk about experienced racism for the first time.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Graph.
Okay. All right.
Guy John.
So there's 3 cars. Here's the ticket guy. They're all moving this way. I corner my car this way.
Got it.
A guy pulls up.
Oh, okay.
me.
Got it.
He's there.
Got it. Okay.
This car moves forward. I go to move here. He pushes in front of me, even though I've been there for a solid minute and he saw me.
No.
And I go, hey. And he motions, go around. You needed to go around. You can't just skip the line. You need to go around. But there is no barrier that blocks you to have to do that. It's an empty parking lot. I'm trying to get out of there. And remember,
He's getting refired
I only
up.
have 1 minute.
Right.
And then this guy's going to ask me to pull out my credit card.
Right.
So the guy goes, go around. And he gets in front of me.
But go around to where? There's a line of cars.
Precisely. This is not, you don't set the rules, sir. You do not set the rules, okay? I've been here waiting patiently before you got here, and just because you're an idiot and decided you had to go all the way around, these some kind of rules that you've created for yourself,
Sure.
I don't need to abide by those rules, sir.
Right.
So he fucking pulls in a dangerous way to block me. So he goes, try this, and I did something that I would never tell you guys to do because I'm against, there's no need for this in the world, but I could not allow myself to.
Well, you always say this. Oh, they could have a gun. Remember, you're so grateful to be here. You know, it's all.
But I'm able to kind of build out who this guy is. Okay,
He's
got medical problems. Remember, we're in a medical center. This is not a shopping mall where everyone's, you just got out maybe getting some bad news or good news or a checkup.
It's not a CrossFit gym.
Exactly.
Right.
But let's be nice to one another. Okay. So he's basically got the edge on me. So he's going to block me out. And now, not only is I feel he's behaving rudely, but now he's going to force me to get me my credit card out.
I would argue, though, a cripple is even more likely to have a gun.
True.
Well, you want to know what I did?
What'd you do?
I laid into my fucking horn, unrelenting. I just went, honk!
Yeah.
I drive, my work truck is a Honda CRV. For some reason, that is the loudest horn on the planet Earth. Now, forgive me, because now I'm affecting other people and children walking in the park. Like, what's this horn? This guy becomes so, what would the word be? Like
frazzled, startled
by it. Just then, the car in front of me pulls up. I skip in front of him. Skip in front of him. And then the entire minute while I'm waiting to give my ticket, I'm just looking back at this guy, and he is fuming. But this is my problem. I didn't create this war, sir. You did.
Sure.
And now I'm affected by it.
Yeah.
I've had a solid 2 minutes of intense thought. I'm wondering, like, I'm mad, I'm angry, I feel disrespected. He feels the same thing.
Right.
This didn't need to happen.
Right.
And then I get my ticket and I pay. I didn't have to pay.
Okay, so that was my first question.
And then I pull out of there.
Right.
And now I'm still thinking about it. Why did we have to do this to one another as a people?
Yeah.
Why?
Right.
Why did he have to do that?
Yeah.
This is what's wrong with society.
Now, people will say, if you're practiced in some form of mastery of consciousness, Zen detachment, Buddhism, something like that.
Vedantic philosophy.
Exactly. Stoicism. Any of these calming philosophies.
I'm all worked up.
Yeah, sit back.
You would just allow the man to do what he did, right? But this is my problem when people like you, my mother always tells me this. My mother, who was a rabid dog from Queens for most of her life, who would attack people if they cut in front of her in line. But now she's experienced some kind of Zen. She's smoking a lot of pot. Very happy for her.
I was going to say, what's the cure? Because most rabid dogs don't ever not become rabid dogs. They die.
It's weed.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. And searching. Anyways, are we just supposed to allow this kind of thing to happen? Or are we just supposed to say, sure, here's my chest, walk all over it? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But then the question is, are you changing this man's behavior? Is the desired outcome purely selfish? Are you trying to make waves that will alter this human in some way? Or are you just in full-blown blood red rage and you're not even thinking about that?
We're looking at it like binary, like, oh, he could have just let him go, or he could have like honked a horn, which I fucking love that move. There's something so disconcerting when that horn is going off. Like, anybody will do whatever to make that stop.
It is a very stinging thing.
I can't even like do it, like hold your horn. Mm-hmm. It's incredibly uncomfortable. So props to you, actually.
Very, very easily.
But I think the philosophical way to go about it is like, it's even a jock, like extreme ownership. How could I have massaged this different? Maybe I we're both stuck in a thing. Maybe I may literally go up to his, if you go up to his window, that won't work. But also, I feel like you slept a little, because if you're coming in at that angle, how did he get his bumper ahead
How
of
did
you?
he get in front of you, dude?
I'm going to have Brian do a work with him.
Okay,
and
yeah.
we'll do a graph. I want to say this. One of the things that peeved me, okay, so when
Other options,
when two human beings feel they're in the right.
If we don't have the graph, don't comment anything.
Okay. When two human
Not a
beings
single fucking syllable.
have a disagreement, and that's what this
7 shows a week.
myself and this gentleman was having. One thing that I do remember doing that should have de-escalated it was when I thought I was just going to pull in, I put my hand out the window with the ticket in it to wave, like, thank you, even though I didn't even need to thank him for anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he still did it.
Yeah. Now the question is, should that person be euthanized?
Did you know that despite the
That
fact
is
that
the question.
California is one of the most liberal places?
Hey, this isn't going to
America.
get political.
No.
Still death
We
penalty?
love the death penalty. We
I didn't
voted for it.
I didn't know that.
I'm
We
fine
love
with
it.
the death penalty if it was cheaper, you know? If it was cheaper, if we were spending 25 cents on a round of some sort, then I'd be fine with it. But,
I say give them the choice. I don't know if I believe in the death penalty. I think it makes us worse.
all right,
too.
well, we don't want to get political.
No.
here.
Yeah,
So, speaking of the death penalty, there's this crazy documentary that's come to Netflix.
Oh, yeah. You want me to talk about that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm happy to.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a great story. How much time do we have?
Plenty.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if a lot
We
of
have
you
to end the show with the racism, so buckle up.
I don't.
And this is racism outside of the confines of how Merriam-Webster would define it these days. Although I would say that you did not have any power in this situation.
I think yeah.
Yeah, you were a victim of a power structure that you could not fight
Nick
against.
was.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear that.
I want to get into this, yeah.
All right. Let's talk about Tinder Swindler for a second.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys knew this, and a lot of people would probably be surprised to hear this. Maybe it's Netflix lying, but they put out the numbers for Tinder Swindler. It's the biggest downloaded property they've ever had on that.
Yeah,
streaming service.
they've been doing this lately where they the League of Legends thing, I think it was called Arcane. That too was like the biggest they'd ever had.
And of course, what's that? The one where in
you
Asia.
got it.
What's that one called?
Oh, Squid Games.
Squid Games.
Squid
Yeah.
Games.
Yeah, but there's this thing with them. There's like, for years, Netflix was shrouded under this cloud of secrecy. How many people are streaming? How many people are streaming? But as their stranglehold, as the monopoly on streaming services starts to loosen, then they're like putting out these like propaganda. So it's like, oh, everybody's watching Squid Games. I have to watch Squid Games.
Right.
So it's a little dubious of the numbers, and like every next thing that came out is the most watched thing that's ever been on the platform. It's a little suspicious.
Dylan, I'm going to talk about it, and then I have a personal story about it.
Okay.
About being swindled. Do you want to just play the trailer?
Yeah,
real
so
quick?
we'll kick it out. What is this? Is it a movie? Is it a documentary?
It's a documentary.
Documentary.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You
can
this
find
guy
a
on
bit
Tinder
of
swindled people.
Okay, got it.
Everything on Tinder, but one little swipe can change your life.
I only miss you when it rains.
When I first talked with Simon, immediately we had a bond.
And when I listen to the radio.
He was
These are real
smart
people.
and funny
Yes.
and very impulsive.
Billie
I
Eilish song
shared
is
my whole
bothering
heart
me.
with him.
Oh, of course, this is her.
And
I
then he
hate this.
asked
I don't
me
know
if
if
I
it
wanted
is.
to
It
travel
sounds
with him
exactly
on a
like
private
her.
jet. I was like, shit.
He took me to a 5-star hotel. He said,
We had a special connection.
It felt like stepping into a movie. And then in the middle of the night, he said there was something he wants to tell me. He said he has threats against him.
He needs our cash.
$20,000.
$30,000.
$140,000.
His life depended on me. That's when police tell me the man I loved was never real. Everything's a lie. Who is this guy I've been sharing the same bed with?
Okay.
All right, yeah, so we
You get it. All right. So just to give a little recap. So this
Is there another minute that needs to be on this trailer?
Not really.
Why is there another minute? We get it.
First off, the doc is fine. They basically lay it out right there. So then you're just wondering, does the guy get caught or not?
Right.
All right. So this is why I think.
But really quickly, so what's because to me this seems like a bad scam. As most of these murder or scam documentaries, I always think, how the fuck could anybody fall for this?
It's funny you say that because after I set this up, I was saying, how the fuck does anybody fall for this? I was like, I fell for this.
But they weren't asking you for $30K.
No.
Or do these people pay this man?
Yeah.
And it
Well,
was
like, how do you do that?
Well, let me
Why would you
explain.
do that?
All right, it's very much similar to like grooming.
Ponzi scheme,
So
too.
it was a Ponzi scheme. Okay, so this guy's actually from Israel, and he was wanted for crimes that he committed there. He goes to Europe. He's at any given time, he's got 5 different girlfriends. And I think why America likes this is because he's a good-looking criminal. And also some of these
Sure.
girls are pretty. So when we have pretty things we like to look at, and then either a murder or some
Got
kind
it.
of con man thing, we're in love with it. As
We love to
Americans.
look at them, and we love to see them killed or fail
And
even more.
Another part is because the Jinx a few years ago kind of upped the ante on docs. We want to see kind of live in the moment of tracking the person
Yes,
down.
The Fred Durst documentary, Limp Bizkit.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, right,
but
right.
the sad thing is that not every documentary can highlight so beautifully a deranged killer the way that they captured Fred Durst in The Jinx.
Correct.
So like that's an incredible documentary.
Incredible. This is definitely not that,
Right.
but it's still enjoyable because all right. So the way that
And tip for anybody who's like, they got that wrong. Yeah, we know.
We did it for the Nookie. The impressive thing about the Tinder...
Our fans are annoying the fuck out of me lately. I don't
Re-
know what-
relax,
fans,
relax.
I
Don't
know,
even
I
listen to him. Listen to listen.
they're listeners.
The Tinder swindler, the most impressive thing to me about him is like you'd think he was doing this to a bunch of uggos, but like you said, these are good looking women he was bilking.
So he'd tell these girls that he's a son of a billionaire, like someone in the diamond world. He'd actually superimposed his face on a photo with the actual people. He created an
Probably did it
Instagram
on
account.
Canva.
He basically, this was a full-on con. It was a lifelong con. He has no morals or ethics. So he'd get one girl, he'd wine her and dine her for a week. Before you know it, they're a couple. Then he'd say, and he'd always say, I have enemies across the world and they're trying to hunt me down. And he'd send a text like, I need money. They turned off my credit cards, my enemies. Can you take out $50,000 and wire it to me? And they would. And then he'd pay him back some of the money. So he had like these different ways that he kind of slowly keep getting him. So when he asked for 100, they didn't even blink an eye.
How do you find a mark with that much liquid cash?
They're loaning money to anybody now. Like you can get like $100 grand in 4 days if you need it.
It's just
Interesting.
not true.
Yeah,
Not true.
it's true. It's true. One of these girls, she took like 200,000 out. She's like a photographer or something like that. She sent it to him, and he would put Amex cards in different people's names, and he'd max those suckers out too.
Got it.
So, but he was just living a very lavish lifestyle.
because of the social security check that they need to run. I don't understand how these people do this.
Yeah, maybe they talked about it in the doc, but I didn't get it. But anyway, I'm watching this doc, and I'm like, geez, do you think someone that you knew for a few weeks or something, they start asking you for some money? That'd be some red flags.
Yeah.
And then I thought of me.
Yeah.
There was a time, okay, it was only $750, but it was 2006. And that was a lot of money to old Patty back then.
Sure.
I'll tell the tale.
You were destitute with nothing but your dick in your hand.
Well, I was starting a company. I wasn't making a lot of money. Probably, I think my first year I made $11,000 total. So I was living off credit cards.
Right.
So I don't know if I ever talked about this with you guys, but right around my next door neighbor trying to kill me,
Yeah.
and getting through that mess, it was right around 2006. And I also had 2 years of sobriety. I had just decided in 2004 I'm not going to drink anymore, and I just cold turkey didn't think about it. 2-year mark happens. I'm like, all right, I did it 2 years. I'm going to start drinking again.
Right. That's what AA tells you to do, right? After 2 years, you're good.
No.
Oh, sorry.
One thing is I stopped going to those meetings, and then
We've covered it very,
yeah.
very extensively. They asked you to make coffee or something.
Yeah, they wanted me there early, 15 minutes early to make coffee, and that was too much work.
Hey, I'm with you.
Thank you.
Right.
So
I'm an addict, not a fucking worker.
Yeah,
right?
because then it starts to get into culty territory. You know, like this isn't an ant farm. I'm here to get, help with addiction. I'm not here to be a part of this network of pain.
First it's make coffee, then it's file my toenails.
Right. And then it's,
But we don't want to make fun of AA. It helps
Sex
a lot of
stuff.
people. Although I'd be disturbed because there was this one woman. She used to knit the entire time. She was like 60 years old. One day she got to lead the meeting that you'd always pick someone to lead. She gets up and starts telling like, I just masturbated all day, and she starts talking about her gross masturbating to get through the day. I was like, I'm not here for this. I'm here to hear sad stories, but not
Okay.
that one anyway.
No
So-
one's making fun of AA. A lot of the tenets of AA are very similar to the aforementioned Stoicism. Affect the things you can change.
I cannot deal with the things I don't know.
Yeah. Serenity now.
give me the freedom to know what I can change. And this fucking,
I'm sure someone in AA will let us know what it
Yeah,
is.
it's in a Kurt Vonnegut book somewhere.
So I'm now going to start drinking, and now all my friends that I had are all girlfriend up or married. So now I'm 31.
Except in things you cannot.
I'm going to go out and I want to start drinking and partying, or I still feel like I'm young. I'm ready for a second go at this. So I get into a different group of friends. Okay.
Cool.
Where you're going out on Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, going 4 nights a week in Los Angeles. It's a fun place for young people because everything's open all the time, right? Your funnest night can be on a Wednesday, not a Friday or Saturday.
Right.
So I get in this group of friends, and it's like a few girls, few guys, and one of the girls' name is Angela, and she's a pretty blonde-haired girl. She's probably like 24. And we see
was a
each other
guy?
no, girl. So we see each other for like 3 months, but it's not romantic, but I got a little crush on her. She's really cold and kind of mysterious. And anyway, so
sexy.
she was kind of like always mentioning how she wasn't making enough money. And at one point, she was like telling me like, oh, we should totally, I want to see that movie. We should totally go there. Next week, I said, cool. And then the next night, as I think I'm going to have a date with her the weekend, she goes, my roommate and I have to ask you a huge favor. And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Can I borrow $1,000? I was like, I didn't have $1,000 really. I was like, yeah, all right. I only have $750 though. She's like, yo, that's fine, no problem. And I felt guilty. I felt like a loser because I couldn't give her the whole grand.
Right.
So I give her the check. I drive it over to her apartment the next night.
Oh, you deliver it.
Yeah, I delivered it, and I'm also probably thinking, hey, maybe she'll invite me up. We'll have some drinks.
This
is
what
my
happens,
fault too.
This is what happens with men when they want to have sex
Yes,
with someone.
she probably felt that too, and but that's why she probably thought I was a loser. How dare you?
It's called rutting. It's why you can kill deer very, very easily during a certain time of year.
Yeah, I've nearly torn down my entire life, everything I've built within 3 hours, and then finally masturbated at home and be like, don't stop it.
Yes.
Just pump the brakes.
Just
It's poisonous,
masturbate.
that shit. You got to get it out.
Yes. So I give her the check. I see that it's cashed. A few days later, I was going to call her on the weekend to see if we were going to go out. She doesn't pick up the phone. Basically, she stops hanging out with that group because it was her and another girl that were hanging out with this group. Stopped completely for like 2 weeks. I text her, hey, you said you only needed the money for 2 weeks. You pay me next month. It's, not that I really need it. It's not a big deal or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I haven't eaten for 3 days, but you don't know that.
She texted back, I remember, because I just leased a new Saturn. And she said, well, I heard you got a brand new car, so you aren't hurting for money that bad. That was her response.
Jesus Christ.
Uh-oh. So then I waited another week or so, still on. I'm like, hey, no big deal. We can set up a payment plan. I don't care if it's $25 a week or whatever, but if we can do this out, ghosted completely. Next week, I'm like, I asked someone, hey, do you know what happened to Angela? They're like, oh, she moved back to Florida. I was like, oh. So then I look her up on MySpace. And I don't know if you had to ask to be a friend then or whatever, but I basically just said, hey, where's my money? Mm-hmm. She blocked me. So then at that time, I had a friend who ran a business where they call you and bug you for the money.
Nice.
Ugh.
And they did it like for free or pro bono. They would send me they'd call and just harass her for the money.
Love it.
And that was my only kind
recourse,
of recourse,
yeah.
And also helped me sleep at night because even though it was $750, it was a lot of money back then, and I couldn't believe a human being would do that to me. Now, Dylan, you are right. She probably could have been like, this Pat guy's been all around here thinking he's going to get a date with me. Fuck this guy. Like, he just wants pussy. So you know what? I'll steal $750 from him. Teach him a lesson.
No, I don't think that at all.
He was just saying there's much risk involved with trying to get laid that bad.
Yeah, all I was saying is your stupidity was due to your craving of her flower.
I wasn't thinking clearly. So It can happen to me. It can happen to anybody.
Couple questions. When you did drop off the check and you were like, oh, maybe I get it. She was just like, oh, thanks. See ya. Close the door in your face.
Sent her roommate down.
Oh my God.
Her roommate sat in the passenger car and she said, thank you very much. This is helping us out a lot. And I said, oh, great. Well, I'll see you guys this weekend. She said, oh, yeah. Last time I ever saw her.
And then what happened with the muscle? Did he just badgered her for a while and then gave up?
It was a woman. And she said that the final call was, she was like, the girl Angela said to the credit collector or debt collector, said, Miss Karen, my mother has cancer. I will no longer be accepting phone calls from you or something like that. She just played I don't know if that's true or not, but
yeah, well,
that's how it ended.
Do you have her last name? Because I think that we should refire this, let's fire this back up.
We're thinking the same thing. You don't have to be involved at all. You just give me your name. I'll work on getting this $750 back.
And here's the thing. If we get the $750 back, you don't need it anymore, right? So we'll take the 750.
you can have the whole thing.
And you will have the Solace.
I heard you were just you were renovating your house. You don't need 750.
Well, let me say something.
Same logic.
Let me say something about this, though. It was actually one of those things that, maybe I'm glad it happened. I kind of, after I got shaken by that, I was like, I looked at myself in the mirror one day as a bloated 31-year-old. I'm like, what am I doing with my life? You're hanging out with these people, and you like one night I did like cocaine on a weeknight till 4 in the morning, and I had to get up and go to work, and it's gross. And I said, I'm pulling my life together.
Yeah, and then after you said you were going to pull your life together, you would continue with that kind of behavior for 4 or 5 years.
Actually,
right?
not like that. I started another business. Of course, I'd hang out at night, but it'd generally be on a Friday or a Saturday.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, I've never gone back to that kind of debauchery.
I really am fascinated by some of these collection methods. I mean, you just had someone who like kind of bothered her, but my personal sports gambling bookie, I don't want to say too much about him, but I've known him for a very, very long time. We're personal friends, and he's
good guy, but he shuts down live betting like so quickly.
Well, he's supposed to, right?
Yeah, I know, but still, and also you got to punch this in to get that figure. It's like, I just want to put this in. Don't up my bet to get to the outcome. No, just take my bet.
He's just a capo though. He's not the one shutting off the live betting. He's just the guy who like gives you access to the site. He doesn't do the site. Regardless, when tells me about some of these payment methods. There's Facebook groups for bookies. And when someone doesn't pay one of these bookies, they're like a team, and they'll be like, "Oh, this person. This is what I know about this person. He owes me this much money." They start messaging their families, their friends, their work, and being like, "This guy doesn't have any money."
Whoa.
Yeah, and they shame them into paying. Oh, I was fucking absolutely fascinated by it. It was he was telling me some of the instances, and they always get paid.
The kneecapping is happening on Facebook now.
Yes. It's a much more
America's dead.
It's a psychological pain.
Yeah.
But he's going to be put out of business because the government has realized the cartel of sports gambling, and they're legalizing it everywhere.
Oh, no way. He got the book shut down?
No. He didn't get the book shut down. I just feel like eventually it'll be legal wherever he is, and then people. But it's easier withdrawals.
No, they said the same thing with weed, Nick.
But yeah, true.
I was just going to say it's the same thing with weed. The books are going to tax you 40% of your winnings. Our book, Nick's guy, is
just
not going to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if anybody needs a bookie, the point is, hit me up. I get a referral.
Drug dealers, what happened to my voice? Drug dealers have never been more popular. They really have never been more popular.
And now they're just like the guy next door. It's wonderful.
Sure, yeah. Guy just grows a lot of weed.
In this case, he used to literally be next door.
Right.
All right, so we got to wrap with a horrifying tale of racism in none other than Koreatown, Los Angeles.
Yeah, it happened in Korea.
Town. Los Angeles.
So I had a friend come out visit him. You might know our editor Brian. I don't know where he is at the moment, but
I've never seen the fucking guy, but he's good.
Yeah, he's coming out here for this week because, as you guys know, we got the Corey Feldman concert coming up.
Very excited for that.
We're gonna confront Corey.
How are those T-shirts coming along?
I kind of dragged my feet on it, but I'm gonna get him done. The person I only dragged my feet on him to get it from this guy who's on the East Coast who would have done it for me. He wants to make some T-shirts. It's just the shipping's too hard.
His name's Dylan, and he is he's a great guy.
Hey,
Dylan?
I think so.
Nick, I got an idea with those shirts, how we shake things up.
Yeah.
We have a few extra made. We stand outside the venue. We start selling them.
You know what we should do?
That's how we get our $130 we lost out on the Love Lockdown 2.1 box set back. This is the whole impetus of it. He screwed you.
This is what we should do. We should find a dependable zombie, stick him outside, have him sell the shirts.
Oh yeah.
That way we don't get tackled.
Oh, that's right. We'll be wearing the shirts because we got fooled into buying what do you call that kind of merchandise?
Bootleg.
Swag.
Bootleg. Yeah.
Got it.
Was it you that had the idea of buying zombies gift cards to businesses you don't like, so then they go patronize those people?
Yes.
Genius move. We should buy some zombies some tickets to Corey Feldman. I'll pony up $88.
That's such a good
you're gonna
idea.
need the drink tickets.
Dude, I forgot about that idea.
It is so fun.
Oh, all right. Yeah, let's get the T-shirts going.
I need to buy Best Buy gift cards.
Yeah, there you
At
go.
least 50 of them.
All right, so I'll tell you what. You handle the.
They have food there. You think they don't, but they do. Go in there and get the food.
Nick, you're going to oversee the T-shirt business.
Yeah.
I'll wrangle up some zombies. I'll offer them 2 drink max, and I'll get them in the venue. And we're
Okay.
going to have a party.
I can't wait. So if anybody wants to come to Whiskey A Go-Go, a little meet and greet with us and Corey, Tuesday, 2 days after this airs, come, Whiskey A Go-Go. We're going to miss the show because Pat is convinced he won't go on until 11. I'm so nervous about that.
Don't worry about it.
Well, it's all about confronting Corey. We don't want to see the show, and we will see the show because he will not be on before 10 o'clock. But anyways, so
we
have
have
to get to some racism.
So that's why Editor Brian is in town, and he's only kind of sniffed LA, been here a little bit. So I wanted to show him some authentic LA stuff to do. So of course I do one of my favorite pastimes that I don't do enough. It's go to Korean barbecue.
Keto, protein,
Fun.
There's also fun, yes.
Being served, which is nice.
No,
right
you're
in
making
front
your
of
own
you.
food. What are you talking about?
Not at the place. I like to go to Quarters.
Oh, okay.
That's my favorite one.
They don't cook it in front of you at Quarters?
No, they do, but you don't cook your own food at
Right,
Quarters.
got it.
Bulgogi Hut would be my number 2. There you cook your own food. I'm always a little like...
Bulgogi Hut is good. It's just, it's dirt cheap. I'm pretty sure that you're not eating what they tell you you're eating, but it's delicious.
It's so good.
It's fun. It's more of the experience.
Yeah. But at Quarters, they do cook it right in front of you at least. You don't have to do it yourself. I'm always a little nervous about which meats, how you cook them and stuff. I just need to have more confidence in that. But so we
just
go to
sear the fuck out of it. Just burn the fuck out of it.
so
Not with everything, but anyways.
we
A lot of sugar in that shit.
We had a long night of dumping footage, starting to get some edits ready, and we finally get back to my place about 10, get an Uber. We go down there. It says Quarters is open till midnight.
Right.
We get down there at 10:50, talk to the hostess. And I'm like, room for 2?
Was it slammed?
No. Spots all over the place.
But people.
but tons of people still dining, but spots all over the place, inside, outside. You could see it all. I could taste it.
Do they close the kitchen at 12 or do they close the establishment at 12?
I think they closed the establishment at 12.
Okay.
Hey, if you're saying you're open till midnight, that means at 12. It's not a nice thing to do.
No.
You can walk in there at 11:59, and you should be served.
Most restaurants will do that.
I have a fire tweet. I hate walking into Subway like 10 minutes before it closes and getting dirty looks. You're open till 11. Be prepared to make sandwiches till 11. All right. And I don't try to do
they're
that.
artists.
Yeah, exactly. I don't try to do that, but if it does, if I need to eat and all of a sudden shit's closing, I'm gonna
also-
go. I'll apologize profusely.
Yeah, you're not making a souffle. You're making a chicken teriyaki on wheat. So
And I don't think they.
I'll be out of here.
So we get there 10:50. I asked for 2 spots. The male host, he's like, and he walks away. Then someone else walks up to me, and they're like, "Sorry, kitchen's closed." And it was like, well, my good friend Brian here he's from Wisconsin. He's never had Korean barbecue. You know what? She didn't give a shit at all.
No.
Are you kidding me?
And I have almost no doubt in my mind, had we been Korean, we would have been sat, rolled out the red carpet, and been able to eat.
Yeah, now the issue with what Nick's predicament was...
BBB.
What's that?
Better Business Bureau.
Oh, shut up. What is it? You want him to rat? Shut up.
I don't hate it. I was disrespected.
Get outta
Then I
here.
had to go to Toe Bang.
So the reason why Nick had to go to Tobang and have that inferior Korean cuisine was
Which
because...
they don't cook in front of you.
Was because Nick is a gaijin.
It's Gaijang Summer.
Are you familiar with the term gaijin?
I am not.
That's what we are to the Koreans. Now, the Koreans are an indomitable force in this city. We have the privilege of having access to their cuisine, which is fucking incredible. There is a larger population of Koreans here than anywhere else in the world outside of South Korea. Pretty crazy. So they are numerous. They are calm. They are fierce, and they are loyal people. But if you are a gaijin, you're a gaijin. It's like being a goyim. You're treated differently if
I'm
you're
both.
You're a both. You're treated differently if you're a Gentile, if you're around a lot of serious Jews. Now, I I've experienced plenty of Gaijin treatment. We went to Parks Barbecue. The bill was somehow almost $400 for Korean barbecue. I was looking around.
You cooked it yourself.
I cooked myself. We got
White rice.
3 meats, white rice, lettuce, pickles, and potato salad.
How many beers did you
2
drink?
beers and a bottle of soju. How is this so expensive?
Inflation.
Gaijin.
Yeah, he paid that bill. They walked out and they just laughed and laughed.
Can
He
you
paid the whole thing.
believe this guy?
And they have loud voices too. Okay, so at some point, this city, they get together in groups and they can shut something down.
Oh, the Koreans?
I'm going to give an example. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
about
feel
a
like
year
everything
ago,
we've said is just like matter of fact, and that's teetering.
No.
on
This is it's
Pretty
been it was in the
close.
news. It was in the news. So at some point, our city officials said, "Hey,
It was
I know
in
what we're
the
going to do."
news.
Yeah, it was in the news.
Laura Ingraham said, "Shut up and dribble." That was in the news.
Oh, she said that. So, like last year, our city officials said, "Hey, we got an idea. We're gonna put like we're gonna make a homeless encampment, keep all the zombies in one place. We're gonna put it right in the middle of Koreatown." Oh, that lasted about a minute. The Koreans went to the streets.
Yeah, man.
They have loud voices and they also vote.
You remember the riots?
Yes.
They were fucking defending their storefronts.
You're talking about the
with
92 riots.
Live ammunition, yeah.
Oh yeah.
As they should have. The police weren't helping them. They're like, fuck you. This is our entire livelihood.
Oh man. You want to see where they show that quite a bit of footage of that is I think it's called 92. It's a documentary about the LA riots in 92.
I hold no ill will towards them. I'm not going to call the Better
No.
Business Bureau, but just know that I think of eating as a nuisance. We would have been out of there in 45 minutes,
Right.
and spent a decent amount of money.
Yeah.
So you guys fucked
Well,
up.
let me-
It doesn't even. It's not. Sorry to cut you off.
No, no.
It doesn't only apply to race and culture and stuff like that, or race. But you get Gaijin treatment or Goyim treatment in a lot of different places. You go to Dantana's. If you're not a regular, they will make you wait an hour and a half after you give them $100 at the door. I mean, these things happen everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Soho House. If you're not a member and you come in, you're not dressed well, they'll probably look at you a little weird.
Yeah. I don't understand in this age of discrimination how a guy with a clipboard outside like a real hot club can turn away some fatties. Like, you seem like there'd be just endless lawsuits. Like, hey, I got the $20 to get into the club.
Sure.
I want in. The guy goes, "Oh, I'm sorry,"
Yeah.
and then he just lets 4 hotties walk by and go like, "You're discriminating against me because I'm a fatty."
Yeah, I'm really
no,
sorry.
I'm not.
I'm really sorry, but you're gross. You're going to gross everybody out in there, so I can't let you in.
I actually think that's something to keep an eye on. I bet I could see that changing pretty soon, and someone putting up a stink like you just said. You just said the word fatty, which I want to plug. Love is Blind. We're covering it on patreon.com/another podcast network.
That poor woman is so sick.
The reason I thought fatty made me think of that plug is because we bleeped out the word fatty on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. To me, it sounded like a different F word. I actually think
It was upon request. Pat requested that we beep it out, and I thought, wow.
it should have been shorter so you could hear the. But man, I thought we were. I don't know.
That's so funny how this kind of paranoia and fear can bite you in the ass. Anyways, we'll be back next week to talk about more bullshit. Jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews. Leave 5 stars. Kind words, please. If you're on Spotify, hit 5 stars. It helps the show tremendously. You don't even need to leave any words. Love is Blind, the greatest show we do, even better than this, is available at patreon.com/another podcast network. Join us on the YouTubes as well. We'll see you next week. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Fuck you, Pat.
Bye.